I'm at a Starbucks in Texas. I literally feel like I'm in a sauna. I'm sweating at the moment, but we're going to talk about hormones. We're going to talk to you about the adrenal, the thyroid, and guys, your sex hormones that are plummeting, and women, and your, oh gosh, your estrogen dominance, your pre-post menopausal hormones, women whose periods have stopped, infertility. Let's get to it. The adrenal hormones. So, yeah. Let's get this started. We've got one person in the house. They come quick though. Okay, for people on the replay, hold on. I'm just waiting for people to come into the chat, so I'm not talking to myself. Okay. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Should have put my phone on mute before we got started. Hi, Tony. Okay. Can keto help fix your hormones? Yes. And or carnivore or low carb high fat? Yes and no. So it can. Everybody. Daphne Nelson, I think. What's up? So I want to explain how it can mess you up and then how it can help you. So we got problem, and then we got to talk about solution. My arm on my water bottle. Yeah, that would be perfect. There we go. We got an armrest here. Okay. So a lot of you guys are experiencing, let's break it down. Women are having estrogen dominance. Yes. They're having, this creates a lot of problems, this estrogen dominance. Men are having low testosterone at record high numbers. Scary high. Now, women mostly suffer from more than, is it raining? I cannot escape this weather. Okay, sorry for all the noise in the cars and now the rain. Okay. So women mostly suffer from thyroid problems over men because of the problem with estrogen dominance. So you know when men suffer from thyroid problems, you know they are so jacked up. Then we have, we've got your adrenal hormones and your pancreas. So we've got with your adrenal hormones, we have fight or flight hormones with cortisol. And a lot of you guys are just cortisol machine makers. You're bathing in the cortisol. Yeah. And that's connected to the thyroid, and it's also connected to the estrogen dominance. Yes. Then we have our insulin, our pancreatic hormones. And a lot of you guys are having problems with high insulin, and that's a problem because that creates high blood sugar and glycation, and insulin likes to stack up in the bloodstream and cause damage to the cells. But with that said, you just got the notification. Yeah, it's sitting at 14 solid. Let me know if the it's not moving with more people finding the stream. So let me know if you guys, if I'm coming in clear or not. Okay, so I'll answer that question about adrenals being off in a second. So these are so we have the reproductive hormones, we have the thyroid hormones, the adrenal hormones, and your insulin and your glucagon. A lot of people really get confused with all of those hormonal systems. Now there's more hormones, but these are the main ones we need to consider when it comes to changing our diets. Now, the problems when doing a low carb diet or carnivore diet or keto diet, when having either one of those, you're tick boxing, one of those issues is the fact that if you're not adapted, I'll get there about the cortisol. If you're not keto adapted, or you don't reach your keto adaptation, doing this diet can completely destroy all those systems that I just mentioned. So most people really don't adapt. you can make ketones, and you can make them in a day, and then you can drop them, and then you can make them and you can drop them, but you're not consistently producing enough ketones in that tight ketone range to keep your blood sugar down and stable for your hormones to become corrected. So the big problem is your fight or flight hormones, your adrenal hormones, your adrenaline, norepinephrine, and your cortisol. The problem with that is that those center adrenals that sit in the back above your kidneys they're like controlling everything. They're going to be like, things are going to get better, they're going to get horrible based on the adrenal hormones. So it's really important to understand your adrenals. So your adrenals are also connected to your sex hormones, especially when men go through andropause and women go through menopause, and those adrenals are going to kick in and take over where your testes or your ovaries are not working anymore, or they're not working optimally. So, like I said, you cut out your carbs. If you cut out your carbs and you're not making enough viable, usable ketones that get into the bloodstream, it's going to take all of those hormonal systems, your endocrine system, and just tank it. So if you watch other people, they make all these diets seem so easy, but it is and it is not. Depends on how you apply these diets according to your existing health. A lot of you guys don't know what's going on with your health. You think you know, but you really don't know. So I kind of want to go over the symptoms, what to look out for if you're using this diet to fix your hormones, or if you don't know if you've got tanking hormones. So let's go through the adrenal system. Okay, so the adrenals, like I said, they're going to produce your cortisol. Ultimately, cortisol is what we need to take into account, and then we have to consider your sex hormones. Those are the two big ones. Now, sitting out here, what's up, Black Superman? Just started, awesome. So sitting out here, my cortisol is a little elevated. I know it is because I'm noticing the noise over here. I'm in a Starbucks and it's hot. It's freaking hotter than a witch's tit in hell. It's almost winter. Those are all my stresses. Oh, of course, and I'm putting my arm on this. So my cortisol is a little elevated, but what's good with my body is that I've trained my insulin to not over-secrete. So my blood sugar isn't going too high. My glucagon, which raises that blood sugar back up to baseline, they work in harmony. Insulin and glucagon work together. So insulin's going to drop your blood sugar and glucagon's going to bring it up, because if it stays too low, you want to take a nap, right? You get cranky, and that then it's going to affect your sex hormones. Cortisol goes through your sex hormonal tree called, and when it robs from the tree, it's called pregnenolone steal. So cortisol's down here. It'll take from pregnenolone, DHEA, and then all your sex hormones at the bottom of the base of the tree. And people don't realize that me just sitting out here in noise is a fight or flight response, because there's no harmony, right? There's pollution and EMF poisoning and cars and noise, and people are disconnected. My feet are not in the dirt. So when I get back to the ranch that I'm at, I'll be back in harmony, and that cortisol will begin to drop. It's something you can't measure, right? And people always want to measure everything. They want to use scales and MyFitnessPal and all this stuff, and if they can't measure it, then it doesn't exist. Stress exists, and you may not notice it, but it's there. And your adrenals are just cranking out cortisol. Your cortisol rhythm becomes out of whack, and then all of a sudden, your adrenals' ability to produce your sex hormones also tanks. And then you really see women's hormones go, or men start to develop high estrogen, then high dihydrotestosterone, and men start balding, they start getting flabby, they lose their sex drive, they can't build muscle, they get that tire around the waist. Lots of guys have too much estrogen and DHT in their body, circulating through the body. So the adrenals play a big role in your sex hormones and then your fight or flight hormones. So you should really just be stressed out like 8 times a month. but we're stressed out about 50 times a day, right? Humans today live in the past. Barely anybody I know lives in the future. All their stress comes from, well, what if this happens, and what if that happens, and I'm nervous, and I'm scared, and whatever it is, that's past. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. Like me coming here to Texas, I didn't know what was going to happen, and now I'm going to leave. I literally went to Tennessee driving around, literally just talking to random people about properties for sale, horse areas. Most people were like, I don't know. But then I hit 2 people who knew everything. So instead of relying on my computer, I just did the old-fashioned way, which is to talk to people, and that makes me feel like I am still experiencing now the present future, right? Because I don't know what's going to happen if I walk up to a stranger. I don't know. I just got my car, started driving. I was going the wrong way at one point. Like, that's all future. See what I mean, you guys? I have no control. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know the area. I don't know anybody. And that creates new neurological pathways in the brain, here in the neocortex, and it keeps you moving forward. Keeps those adrenals in check. Now, when the body's producing too much cortisol, it's designed to raise your blood sugar real fast so it can give you energy. The problem is that if you have a lot of cortisol, with that, you start to break down tissue, right? So thyroid's like, the body's just chronically inflamed, and you're supposed to oscillate. Inflammation, then it goes away. If it's inflammation, things start breaking down. Systems start breaking down, like your thyroid. So the thyroid's like, we need to slow this person down. They keep going. They don't sleep enough. They're not eating the right food. They have hypoglycemia, and then they drink a coffee, and it's false energy. And the adrenals, the adrenals and the thyroid are like, let's just lower these hormones. Maybe that'll slow that person down, right? Because that's a naturist response. What's up, Maida, Onina? Yeah, these are the things that these systems, and they're all connected. So even one negative thought or text, all of these things will make your body the adrenals just over vomit cortisol. And now your blood sugar's high, now your thyroid hormones start to drop, your progesterone drops, your testosterone drops, your estrogen spikes, you can't take a dump, you can't get rid of all the circulating estrogen, and that's how your hormones get jacked up. So can keto fix that? Yeah, because it's going to regulate your insulin, and then your blood sugar, and then the cortisol, and then the sleep, you see? But the problem is, if you're not adapting, it's a mess. If you don't adapt, what's the point? Then everything gets worse. If you don't adapt, then your blood sugar gets higher. If you don't adapt, you tank more, you're exhausted more, your thyroid hormone can drop. You may not be able to get iodine into the thyroid. Your gut motility, your pooping mechanism, your dehydration can start to freak out. Your electrolytes might start freaking out. So that's worst case scenario. That's a pretty bad worst case scenario. And that's on carnivore and keto, especially on carnivore. That's the worst for your electrolytes. The worst for your blood sugar stabilization, because people are eating mostly protein and not enough fat. It's like absolutely destroys your body. So your fight or flight, your thyroid, and your sex hormones are the big ones, and then your insulin and glucagon. So how do you fix these systems, right? So one way, a simple way that everyone can do this is just eat every 3 hours. Now, it's not eating a lot of food. People have this like misconceptions. They're like, oh, that's putting pressure on your digestive tract. And I'm like, no, not if they're small meals, then you're fine. I'm going to get to you guys' questions. Just hold on one sec, Sarah. So if you're eating every couple of hours, now you're able to stabilize blood sugar, because your medulla, right, the hypothalamus pituitary, that whole adrenal axis, it can sense when you're eating something. That means less need to raise your blood sugar through cortisol, but more stabilizing your blood sugar through food. And this is what all these intermittent fasting idiots don't talk about ever. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude. I know it's rude to talk that way, but I'm just getting to the point. So, you have to stabilize your blood sugar because we are coming from the world of really jacked up blood sugar. Now, there's this young guy who's constantly hitting me up on Instagram. He just doesn't understand what's so wrong about fasting. And I'm like, dude, how many times have I explained this to you? You get what I'm saying? Like, people are just so indoctrinated to believe whatever somebody has told them, including myself, that they just can't. It just doesn't register. You say the same thing 50,000 different ways, they still don't hear you. So eating every couple of hours when your blood sugar is destabilized because you've been eating processed carbohydrates and skipping meals and drinking coffee with poor sleep and toxins is why your blood sugar gets jacked up. And fasting just makes it go more up and down and boink boink, these large up and down bouncing distances, which it should more bounce in the middle. And so when you keto adapt, you're always going to produce blood sugar. It's not like you completely rely on ketones, okay? So you're always going to use a little bit of blood sugar for your red blood cells, and then you're always going to need a little bit of blood sugar for your thyroid. But after that, your body can use ketones very efficiently. It's like putting a bunch of logs on a stove or a fireplace, and it's slowly heating the house throughout the day. But carbs are like trying to heat a house with paper. It's gonna burn real high, real fast, and then burn out. Oh, hold on one sec, guys. Okay, so that's why carbs suck. Even on low carb, it's better than high carb. But low carb, you still gotta make those. You have to eat every couple of hours on eating carbs, starches, rice, potato, sweet potato, anything that has sugar, sweet fruits, whatever. So it's really, really important to make sure you eat every couple of hours so the blood sugar stays here in the middle, that homeostatic balance. And with you being on a ketogenic, omnivore, or carnivore diet, you also have to eat that fat to keep your blood sugar stabilized in the middle, because the body knows when you haven't eaten. It doesn't. Fasting, the body just thinks you're out in the wild starving to death, so it's trying to raise the blood sugar. People don't get that. If you're fasting and you're doing something, the body's like, cortisol. It's logical. People can scream autophagy, but no scientist can measure it. So it's just catchphrases thrown out of the mouth. All right. Kindling. Lori's like, yeah, you're just kindling before you put the log on the fire. Exactly. So I'm going to hit up some of your guys' questions, concerns, because I saw a lot coming in. Let's see here. What do you recommend for weight loss when you have high cortisol? NJM asks. So weight loss has everything to do with your hormones. So let's focus on the adrenal system. The adrenal, that's a big problem. And then also your estrogen dominance, because when you have a lot of fat storage, those fat cells become lazy, and then they start to produce more estrogen. And if you can't take a poop, there's just so much estrogen that's building up in the system, and it's just telling your body store fat. So I would say make sure that you can poop. Yes. If you need to take some magnesium citrate, don't pound a bunch of fiber, because that will scratch your intestine. You're not supposed to need a bunch of fiber, especially just straight up fiber, to be able to take a poop. Another thing is you want to make sure that you can balance your blood sugar, and that's by eating every couple of hours something small. Don't overeat protein, because that'll spike your blood sugar. If you're going to overeat something, overeat fat, right? Because it doesn't incite insulin like protein does in carbohydrates. Get some sleep, because that's when your body burns fat. That's when your hormones stabilize. That's when your body goes into repair mode, especially between 9 and 3 a.m. Get some sleep, especially 9 to midnight. That's the real weight loss hours, okay? That's the real balancing your cortisol, Getting that sleep is like cortisol, breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, that also helps. Exercise helps with cortisol, bring that cortisol down, because you develop in your muscles these receptors called GLUT4, and they can uptake excess glucose from stress and utilize it as energy. But a lot of people have got poor, like they're not healthy, their body doesn't do that. So they just blood sugar keeps going up, and it doesn't go down, and that's when insulin, that hormone, becomes a problem, and it over secretes, and then you've got insulin not being able to raise your blood sugar back to baseline, and then people are just in this horrible cycle of body damage. So let's see here. 4 years on keto, now on carnivore. Sarah, I wouldn't go strict carnivore. It's not good for anybody. Like, you need the potassium, you need your electrolytes, and something happens with your diamine oxidase, which is, it's an enzyme to help break down histamine. So a lot of you guys are coming from the leaky gut world. Then you do carnivore and you lose your ability to break down the histamine. It's not good. Systemic bad, acute good. Keto will reduce systemic inflammation once you get it dialed in. Kurt is very, very correct. Keto omnivore, high fat, ketogenic, moderate to low protein is the best. I was going to do a protein live, and I thought to do a hormone live. I've been doing really well on the whole what? Is it always the goal to do 12 tablespoons? Yes, please. Yes, Sarah. I'm going to talk about women who are in postmenopause, men and women. So there's andropause and there's menopause. So women develop menopause, premenopause, perimenopause, where their menstrual cycle went out the door, or they just start gaining a ton of weight around the middle, or they start to get a lot of cellulite that they never had before. And they're like, oh, I'm getting older. I'm like, no, it's not about getting older, because I'm not going through those problems. So the thing that people have to recognize is their blood sugar being super stable, their liver functioning properly to get out that excess energy and be estrogen, and being able to poop. This is going to help that cellulite problem exponentially. Okay, it's really important to have like good solid gut wall, good solid formed stools, and regular stools daily, and really emptying out the bowel, and also getting enough water in to help that whole biliary system, so you don't develop stones in the kidney, stones in the gallbladder, pushing your progesterone down, because when your blood sugar is high, your fat cells are just going to start making more estrogen, and estrogen is going to make it more easily for your fat cells to take the triglycerides and just get lazy fat cells, just get fat and make more cells, and just get fat, more fat, more fat. So when your estrogen is high because you're drinking from plastic bottles, or you're stressed out, your blood sugar's high, or you're eating foods those two trucks were racing. Sorry guys. So with women who are developing like issues, you have adrenal issues, okay? Women who've got hot flashes, get your adrenals under control. That means take magnesium, get your electrolytes dialed in, that's your potassium and your water. That's a big reason why women flash hard, or they just never get sleep. And they're like, I try to get my stress down, and they won't stop flashing. Even if they take the right adrenal supplements, they won't stop flashing until they can actually start breathing, getting some oxygen into the body, and calming their central nervous system down. You got to calm it down. You think that you're not stressed, you're stressed. Beyond like pooping and like taking milk thistle for the liver, like liver support's going to help your adrenal function, because you're going to clear out the whole biliary system, get rid of the estrogen, and take care of the adrenals, and then the flashes will stop. They will stop. Now, the lowering of testosterone, that also comes from high cortisol, that comes from toxicity, stressing out, high blood sugar. Those are the main reasons why women's testosterone drops. And when it drops, your sex drive is gone, your muscles are gone, and now we've got estrogen just skyrocketing, making you fat and flabby, drying out your vaginas. Facts. So how you can see somebody age is just look at them. You see Gluconeogenesis, too much cortisol lifestyle. The body is robbing from proteins from skin, collagen, bone marrow, and your skin starts creping and sagging from too much stress, cortisol, and from toxicity. That's what you can see on people's women's, because I'm 54, totally in denial, but you know, that's how it works. And I work really hard at trying to protect my adrenal function, my electrolytes, my stress, and my liver. If you don't want to go through the full-on postmenopausal. Now, this is very similar for men. When your testosterone drops, guys, and 60%, or it's over 60%, 63% of men today are just sitting with, and it's probably 80 to be honest, full adult men, were sitting with their testosterone not high enough because they're toxic. Like, testosterone is very vulnerable in a man. It will drop and your estrogen will spike, and that's why I meet so many men, like, they got little muscle, but they're not, like, they can't get lean, they're depressed, they don't have any strength, they're tired all the time, they're drinking the coffee too. And it's very similar to what you would see in a woman going through hot flashes. Men don't go through hot flashes, but men with low testosterone get super depressed, super moody, super low mental focus. Like, they'll sit in front of the TV and just click for 30 hours, like, or on the video game, and they can't snap out of it. Like, they lost their man card. Yeah. So, stabilizing that blood sugar, men, getting sleep, men, getting your adrenals dialed in, men, staying away from soy and plastic products or cleaning materials that have an estrogenic effect. Yes. Because I don't care how much you lift, how much pre-workout, which pre-workout drinks jack up your adrenals. And it's like, yeah, you can lift with more energy, but you're tearing your adrenals up, which means you're dropping your testosterone and spiking your freaking estrogen. I see it in guys all day long. You're like, how am I as a woman more muscular than guys in their 20s half the time? It's just bizarre to me. Okay, I have PCOS and I've done too many fasts. Yeah, and I have PCOS. I've done too many fasts, and I have PCOS, and my body is so jacked up. Exactly. Or truth is saying, our truth is saying, can keto long-term cause issues? No. I've done keto for 14 years, and you guys look at my old videos. As you see, as I get older, using ketones to stabilize my blood sugar, I age backwards. I looked worse before. My body was worse before. Now it's happy. My body is very, very happy. A lot of stupid men will say, like, oh, women can't do keto long term, but nobody can say that until they've done it long term. Well, I'm the woman who's done it, and it's amazing. But the discipline needed for this, it's not for the faint at heart. You got to have your shite together and get going. If you do, it's the best thing you could ever do to your body. And if you don't have the discipline, don't waste your time. You're not losing any weight on strict carnivore because of these problems I just said. Carnivore comes with problems, right? You're eating too much protein. Your blood sugar's too high. Blood sugar too high creates blood sugar destabilization and jacks up your adrenals. Adrenals start kicking out cortisol. Now your glucagon's not working. So yeah, of course people don't eat enough fat. You're not keto adapting. Your body's trying to rely on protein for gasoline, and protein's the worst source of energy. It's either carbs or fat. You get older and the hotter you get. I think the hotness is coming from just growing up, wising up. It's more about that. Feeling, just making better decisions. I think that's what hotness really is about. I've been on keto for 3 weeks, and now I've only lost 2 pounds and you ain't doing it right, Archie. Last year I did the same eating habits and lost 10. So our truth, I don't know if you're male or female. I don't know what your weight is, what your life, your discipline, but the way you sound is that you're trying to look for quick solutions, and whatever you did last time, it doesn't matter. This is a whole new year. Like, we live different lives every single minute and hour. We're exposed to different things. And probably your body was dropped a bunch of water at first, and now your electrolytes are off, and could be several reasons why your electrolytes are off, and that's 2 pounds of water. That's not fat. Are you on any supplements? No. Just magnesium. Would you suggest if starting out keto, vegetables and meat? No, it's fat first. Remember that. 200 grams of fat, then moderate to low protein. Then vegetables are the last of importance. They play a very small role except for the potassium and fiber for diamine oxidase production. Men with low T start crying. If I cry, help me. Guess what, Mighty? You sound young, but yeah, it's gonna happen at some point. You just want to have it go slowly. Okay, serious question. Do you like guys with beards, or do you need to shave? No, I like a 3 to 1 week growth. I don't really like the beard thing. I kind of get grossed out, I'm not gonna lie. I like I don't like clean shaven. You know what I mean? Unless you've grown like 3 hairs on your face. But I don't like the full-on beards. Like, I can't see that in your nether regions, that beard down there. On either person, like, I can't with it. No. Nope. I don't like the big ass thing. I never liked it. I think it looks cool on some people, but I don't find it like super attractive. During becoming keto adapted, is it okay to drink black coffee? No. The best way to destroy your hormones is to drink coffee, like straight up. Hi, I am 51-year-old female, 5'1", 130 pounds-ish, IBS. I've gone low carb the last few weeks, not strict though, IBS still an issue. You just said not strict or strictly. Ruth, you gotta, like, you can't do like 60% and expect 100% results. It's all or nothing. That's how the body works. You either go the whole way or you don't go no way. Hey Stephanie, how do you fix someone who may have a pancreas issue and not gallbladder issue? You got to stabilize that blood sugar. That's a huge thing, missing one person. You got to stabilize the blood sugar, and a lot of people, and just stay away from anything that's going to mess up your pancreas, like, you know, 'cause it's going to produce digestive enzymes as well. So it's like best quality of food, eating every couple of hours, keeping your stress down so your blood sugar stays stable for the insulin and glucagon, if that makes sense. Good to know. Can you do keto with only fats and no vegetables? Vegetables give you heartburn. Can you eat avocado? That's a fruit, not a vegetable. Then you can do an avocado carnivore. That's true. That's my biggest issue. I need to be more patient. I did 55-day water fast. Oh, honey, that was not smart. What gained all the weight back. Exactly. You destroyed your adrenals and blood sugar. You destroyed it. I mean, you could fix it, but you destroyed it. So I'm glad you're learning. I'm glad you're learning. Could you tell me if high iron in the blood is a big issue? It's fatal. Yeah, it's dangerous. I got the blood. Do you have hemochromatosis? Are you a guy? If you're a guy with high iron, you better check out your gut wall, because something's going on that you cannot utilize that iron, so you may not be able to get into the system. Ooh, oh, you have hemochromatosis. That's bad. I guess you got to do some bloodletting. Although if you've got the sword in your shoulder, I don't think you can. I don't think they allow you, because the blood gets like poisoned with that stuff. No, I guess they could throw away the blood, not use it. You can't donate the blood. If they did that, why can't I lose weight? I will never do that again. I'm now 52 and over 250 pounds, and you're a boy. Oh, okay. You're still doing things wrong, but hopefully you're here to learn, right? How do you recommend getting enough iodine? Iodine salt? No, it's poison. I would go and do some oyster extracts. Pretty good with iodine. Sorry. Sea kelp is really good and non-toxic. You know, we want to get close to nature, as close as we can. So that's why I was, okay, I read that. How do you recommend getting enough iron? I read that. Oyster extract is really great because it's got selenium and zinc and copper. Thank you, no sword here. Awesome, Ruth. Sorry, somebody tried to call me and I was like, no, not now. I didn't recognize the number. Could you give me an example of what high fat small plate would look like if I was going to? Let's just say plate of food, right? Let's say I'm a woman. Let's say for me, because we're all different in the amounts of protein. I would say, I don't even know who just called me. I would say, okay, for me, I would do about 3.5, maybe almost 4 ounces of protein because I'm active, so I can go up to 4 because my GLUT4 receptors of protein. Fatty meats, super fatty. No, I start reserving now. And then I would put about 5 tablespoons of fat on my plate. Some people who are afraid of fat, I start them off at 3, which is 45 grams of fat. And I only do vegetables 1 meal a day, so I do about a handful. Who is calling me? Oh, shoot. I think I'm gonna have to end this stream soon. I read that herbal protocols cured a lot of incurable disease. That is a lie. A lot of herbs have tannins in them, they have phytic acid in them, and just if people have a histamine response, the herbs can make things worse. Now it depends. Plants have their point and purpose in life. Like milk thistle is really great if you don't react to it for the short term. If you take them for a long time, they can also come with another subset of issues because of the phytic acid. What do you recommend with those with no thyroid? For what? Like protect your adrenals. Get that blood sugar super stable. Because without the thyroid, you're going to need to stabilize your blood sugar so your body's cortisol will be balanced, and that's through sleep and getting rid of the toxins out of your body and taking care of your liver. Do you have any website for? Yes, I was gonna do it now, but somebody just called and was on the way to my horse. I was gonna open up my calendar. I'm gonna open up my calendar tonight, you guys. So look for tomorrow. Look, I can't speak English because I'm trying to rush. Look tomorrow to see if I have consultation spots open on my calendar at stephanieperson.com. When I get back, I'll put it in the show notes. You can go to another video where I'm not live and see my website and just click on the link and go straight to my website. Ovaries, thoughts on hormone replacement therapy? Don't. Hormone replacement therapy is absolute money-making scam for men and women. Those doctors don't tell you that if your ovaries aren't working or your testes, then you've got to really focus on your adrenals and balancing your blood sugar and getting the toxins, the estrogen out, and then you're fine. You don't need to take these stupid hormones that are exogenous that jack up your natural hormonal system. I'm a modern day Viking rocking a short beard. Question about no salt. Are you actually, Kurt? Are you actually from Sweden? Those are real. Människor som kommer från Skandinavien är riktiga vikingar. Okay. Rocking a short question about no salt. No salt's poisonous. Don't touch this stuff. You can either do avocados, potassium citrate, things like oyster extract, meat broth, meat, a little bit of vegetables for your potassium. What's up, Michael? Hogan? Okay, guys, I think I gotta go. I was gonna go longer, but I just got a text that somebody was gonna come over to my horse, so I better get going. You don't have any children yet, so I thought of hormone replacement seemed dangerous. It's garbage. And be careful with kids in the world today. They're gonna like grow up without not being able to breathe and not enough oxygen to their brain, and then like have problems. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely, lovely day. And when I get back, I will put stuff in the show notes below. And I'm out. I do consultations. Go to stephanieperson.com. If you get there before I do, just send me a message through the contact page. Also, I have a course. It's a keto course where I cover all 3 diets and I cover all these subjects. Today was about protein amounts at stephanieperson.com. And also, you can find me on Instagram, Stephanie Ketogenic, or on my Facebook, which is Stephanie the Business Person. And I'm out because I got some energy at 54, and I'm sitting in this disgusting heat in Texas, and I'm ready to move, and I'm out. Peace. Bye, guys. Bye. Thank you, everyone. See you next time, Mighty Odina. Bye, guys.